the Netherlands, there are plenty of great castles that you can explore, and one of such castles is located just a very short train ride away from Amsterdam. And here is our train. Let's go and have an adventure, shall we? Amsterdam has one of the most robust and efficient train networks in Europe, which makes it very easy to explore the nearby towns and attractions, and one of the must-do activities during your visit. Our first stop is the city of Weesp, located just 25 kilometers outside of Amsterdam. Here we will learn more about the Dutch culture and history, as well as discover what makes Weesp one of the best day trip locations in the country. In this video we will check out the local 19th century fort and have brunch in a dreamy tea garden, curated by an award-winning Dutch gardener, Jacqueline van der Kloet. We will spend the night in the 18th century church clock tower, 30 meters above ground, with quite literally the best views on Weesp. Finally, we'll finish our adventure by exploring Muiderslot Castle, which is one of the most famous castles in the Netherlands. The train ride from Amsterdam Centraal to Weesp only took about 15 minutes, and in no time at all I was admiring the city views on the picturesque waterfront. How would you describe Weesp a little bit for the people who have never been here before?
It's a little bit a hidden city. It used to be really small and not that well known. But when you really go in the city center or visit the area around the Vecht, the river, yeah, that's really beautiful.
Honestly, we spent only a couple of hours walking around the city centre of Weesp, and it's so adorable and it's so charming. Everything is just so picturesque. I can't help myself but just stop and take loads of pictures. The first thing I like to do when visiting a new city is to find the highest ground possible to check out the surroundings. This time, the highest point of Weesp also happens to be my accommodation for tonight. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's time to check in into our church for tonight, and we're staying all the way up there. Let's get in. Before we talk about the history of this incredible church and the amazing views it offers, we first need to climb 155 steps up the winding staircase to reach our room. Please consider your luggage wisely. We're here. Let me show you around. Hey, welcome to our room for tonight. This is the lobby. We have currently climbed 122 steps to be here, but we need to climb another 33 in order to get all the way to the top. Let's go. Halfway through, we're greeted with this gorgeous bathroom. And of course, the centerpiece of this room is this fabulous bath here, clearly a statement. And since the whole experience is designed for two people, we do have a mirror and a sink on this side of the room and also on that side of the room here. And on this side of the room, we have the toilet with the glass door, which, in my opinion, offers some of the best views on the city from a toilet. Carrying on with the tour. Oh, wow. This is the master bedroom. This is the clock tower room. Oh my God, it looks amazing. And can I just point out how tall is the ceiling? And if you look all the way up there, you will see the chandelier. And this is where the church's bell used to be. I really like the size of this bed here in the middle of the room. And as I'm walking, I can't really help but notice these larger-than-life windows, which offer a 360-degree view on the city. And I've spoken to the owner. Each and every out of these 8 windows had to be custom-made because every window frame is a little bit different. And this is not something that your average window shop can do, so this is rather cool. A couple of interesting and awesome facts. This church was built in 1876 and the clock tower that we're currently located at was finished 23 years later. As I mentioned before, we are at the 30-meter height, but there is another 37 meters above us, and the tippity top of this church is actually the highest point of Weesp. And as I'm looking here at this gorgeous room, you can honestly feel how much thought and how much dedication and passion was put into the design. Everything looks absolutely immaculate, and I personally really do enjoy the Clock Towers app, where you get a bunch of very practical information such as your check-in and your check-out times, you get your Wi-Fi password, and you also get your digital keys, which lets you open every single door here, which I personally have never experienced before. And on top of that, in the app you actually get a lot of information about the views that you get from this clock tower here. I could literally sit here for the rest of the day. What a place. On our way to the tea garden, we have passed a small tower fort that was built in 1861 called Fort Ossenmarkt. This fort was once a key component of the Weesp fortress, before integrating into the extensive defence line of Amsterdam in 1901. The remarkable 155-kilometre defence system is comprised of 46 forts and other structures strategically positioned along the rivers and canals throughout the Amsterdam region. The entire defence line was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, highlighting its historical significance. After observing so much history, it was finally time to get some food and meet Theetuin, who is a local resident of Weesp and a restaurateur. I'm very excited to learn more about the tea garden and his restaurant concept.
So my name is Toon Rosa, and we're here in Weesp at the Tea Garden. And this is a restaurant I own. The name is Noot. In English it's Nut. It's also my name backwards. But we focus on natural and biological ingredients and a lot of stuff from the garden. We put it on the table. The garden is at its most beautiful now, I think. You see a lot of changes every week, and flowers opening, new flowers coming. So yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, you see the change by day. The garden is designed by Jacqueline from the Kloet. She's an international garden architect, and this is her inspiration garden. So people from all over Europe and also outside coming here to see which flower combinations she makes, and it's really nice to visit. One of the things we serve for lunch is shakshuka. It's a combination of paprika and tomato base with an egg which is poached inside during the warming process. Some baked cumin seeds, and then the tomatoes, paprika, and the basis is set.
Oh, it smells amazing. Got peppers and tomatoes here. So umami, so much flavor, and I have to say that there is something about the alfresco dining experience. Everything just tastes so much better when you're sitting in the garden, you have a sunny weather, and you're just surrounded by beautiful trees and flowers. Fueled up, I was finally ready to go to Muiden to check out the fairy tale-like Muiderslot Castle and its surroundings. After watching some locals practice synchronized paddling, I made my way back to the train station. Muiden Castle is located 4 kilometers away from Weesp, and the bus stop is literally across the train station here. The bus that goes to the Muiderslot is number 110, and it goes once every hour. And our bus should be here in the next 5 minutes. Muiden itself is relatively small, with a population of just 4,000 people. It almost feels like the town embodies a sense of calm and tranquility. That all changes once you step onto the main street and see the epic castle in the distance. Muiderslot Castle is one of the oldest and most famous castles in the Netherlands. The castle has a very distinct square shape, with beautiful round corner towers and a moat. The castle was founded by Count Floris V all the way back in the 13th century. It is one of the best preserved castles in the Netherlands. It comes with a beautiful surrounding garden area, and overall it's a cool place with many things to explore. Look at this courtyard. Now we're talking. The cobbled courtyard looks very neat and pretty, with a lovely cafe on premises. Here you can grab a free audio guide that I highly recommend you pick up to get as much context on what life was like back in the day during your visit. The castle has a very lovely flow to it, with 2 main routes for you to choose, the Knight's route and the Tower route. I started with the Knight's route, as it takes you through the castle's interior first. Inside, the collections revolve mainly around 2 historical eras, the Middle Ages and the 17th century. I personally really enjoyed the armory room, where you get to see lots of cool helmets and armor designs, with some pieces weighing over 40 kilos. You can even put on some of the armor pieces and helmets and feel for yourself what it was like to be a knight. I'm currently in the 17th century guest room, and definitely the centerpiece of this room is this lovely bed here. And something that I didn't know is that at that time the beds used to be much shorter. It's because at that time people used to sleep sitting up. If there is one part of the castle that should be called its beating heart, it would be the Knight's Hall or Ridderzaal. This is where medieval lords received their guests, where the local government of the bailiff and reeve of Muiden had its seat. Here you truly feel fully immersed in the 17th century, surrounded by lots of incredible paintings and Delft blue tiles. This is by far the most gorgeous room in the castle. It's called King's Hall, and this is usually where the party would take place. Once I got the sense of the castle's interior, it was time to climb the castle walls via the tower route. This was a very welcome and lovely shake-up to the castle experience. As you reach the rampart, you truly get an idea of the defense capabilities of this 13th century castle. The fortress walls from here look even taller and stronger. I loved walking alongside the connecting bridge that overlooks the inner courtyard. It truly made me feel like a 13th century castle wall defender. From pretty much any side of the castle, you get gorgeous views on the sea, with boats coming in and out of the mouth of the river. Also, from the castle walls, you probably get the best snapshot of the beautifully symmetrical garden. My favorite bit about this garden is that it is designed with the local community in mind, which means that everything here is maintained and kept up by the local community members and volunteers. They also have separate garden beds that are left for the local school kids here, who can come here and learn about gardening and plants, which is actually pretty lovely. And I think it goes without saying that just walking around this garden is really lovely and enjoyable, especially on a sunny, warm day like that today. And honestly, when I was planning this visit, I thought that we're going to be done within an hour or two maximum, but we actually spent the whole afternoon here. And I will tell you one thing, that exploring the castle and its grounds, it's a very hungry business. So we're going to go and have lunch at the Dutch pub nearby. Let's go. For lunch, I have picked Café Omeko that has been in operation since 1810. The cafe is a well-known local hangout spot that is located right on the main street, only minutes away from Muiderslot Castle. Café Omeko has a very lovely maritime-themed interior and offers a good selection of local beers and nibbles. The reason why I have particularly chosen this place is because of the gorgeous views on the canal here and on the castle itself. This spot is by no means a hidden gem or a cool travel hack when coming to Muiden. However, when you have quite literally the perfect spot to sit down, enjoy some local food, whilst overlooking one of the best castles in the country, it's hard to stay away. If I had to redo anything about this trip, honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so glad that I got to enjoy Weesp and Muiderslot. Honestly, it gave me a different perspective on the Netherlands and also on Amsterdam itself, as both of these places are very close by and very accessible. As always, all the places that we have visited in this video will be linked in the description box below. Go and check them out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Welcome to the iAmsterdam YouTube channel. I will see you in the next one.